I am Wills, joined by Josh here. We are back consistent episodes after not having an episode for about 4 weeks there. Um, Not as much has happened since I think we streamed on Thursday, maybe Wednesday last week. But we have had one basketball game and a bunch of announcements for this ASU football team. So what we're going to be breaking down today, as you can see on the screen, we're going to be breaking down a little bit more of that Wisco game. I don't know the date on that, Josh. I'll have to pull that up. But against Wisconsin, the Las Vegas Bowl, we're going to be talking about ASU's win over GCU and kind of if this program is a little bit revitalized. And then in the last segment, we're going to be asking if me or Josh are going to be emotionally drawn back into this basketball team program like we are with every ASU sport. So we are going to kick it off, Josh. ASU versus Wisconsin. We now know DeMonte Trayanum's not playing, Rashad White's not playing, Chase Lucas isn't playing now, Jack Jones isn't playing, and our starting center Donovan West is now not playing. So that is five major guys that are a major part of this team not playing. What do you think about this game coming up? What do you think about kind of the team going forward, really in general?
Yeah, so and just to reiterate, like you said, that game is on the 30th of December. So, an highly anticipated, bowl game. Does that qualify as a New Year's Six bowl?
No, that is not. The New Year's Six are only Rose Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Fiesta Bowl. Yeah, all those ones.
All right. Well, we're not there yet, but we'll make it. Hopefully one day. Definitely, probably not under the Herm Edwards era, but yeah, we're looking forward to this game. I think it's gonna be a big, next man up mentality. ASU is losing a bunch of players on both sides of the ball, but the same situation, the same team on the other side, Wisconsin, is going through a very similar situation. I'm sure they're losing players, whether they be seniors getting ready for the draft or just players who might be injured, taking a extra month off earlier in their recovery than they anticipated. But I'm expecting us to put up a good fight. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you can look at all these stats. You can look at the Vegas odds, blah blah blah. This is the last game of the season. A lot of time has been put forth going into this season, including this one and last. And these guys are going to come out and play. They're going to come out and play hard. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's a good matchup. We still have great coaches, great offensive mind, Zach Hill, who's going to, hopefully utilize Jaden as much as possible because, he's going to be, the main part of offense that we still have. And hopefully in this game, we really see him, try and open up the passing attack, let Jaden, let it fly. He's coming back next year. Hopefully we get some, good receivers in the transfer portal or just recruits. The recruiting class is not looking great, not even looking good at all right now. So it's hard to say that, but I hope Zach Hill opens up this offense a little bit and lets Jaden, throw the ball a little bit and move with his legs. We're not going to have that big rushing attack, that we've had. I think our running back will just be Daniel Ngata, correct?
Yeah, we could see Elijah Badger back there as well.
Well, hey, and there's nothing – you cannot count him out either. That guy's electric. That might be the secret weapon in this game.
You also cannot count him in either because he's never reliable that he's going to play. So,
yeah, I mean, look, I think this is a moment that the team really might need him, and this is kind of his moment to shine. Honestly, if you kind of think about it, I think he was held out of a bunch of games, at least starting, because of disciplinary reasons, whether that be on the field, off the field, but also
I think it was grades because he got
practice too.
He got held out all last year because of grades, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly. So. Yeah, and there's more important things other than football sometimes, but you can't throw a guy into who knows a handful of plays
Yeah.
When Jaden's calling this and that, he's not going to know what the lineup, the formation, or of sorts of other things. So he was kind of a package guy. We'll call him that, this year. But hopefully, he's got a good idea of what's going to go on in this game because, like you said, it might be him and Daniel Nagata. I know Daniel Nagata has been a lot more consistent, obviously, probably at practice too, than Elijah Badger. But I think we're gonna put up a good fight. What are your thoughts on this team? It's a big powerhouse team that we're going against.
Yeah. So the way I look at it is that this is the last game of the season for a lot of these players. We're never going to see Chase Lucas again in an ASU uniform. We're never going to see Donovan West in an ASU uniform again. So it's sad on those measures, but at the same time, I don't know what the line still is. It opened at Wisconsin -7. I would take that in a heartbeat right now. I assume it's going to probably close at close to 9.5, 10.5. But the things that I'm looking for in this game are Jaden Daniels, obviously him coming back next year. Zach Hill coming back. I mean, he had an awful year. If we're talking about, things that went wrong for this season, I think Zach Hill is at the top of the list up there with, Herm and Jaden as, those are probably the three culprits, Zach Hill, Jaden, and Herm, because, if Jaden really got ruined, as a lot of people are saying this year, then, that starts with Zach Hill and the new coordinator, implementing, a lot of new schemes and offenses. So I think that's one thing is, Zach Hill has a lot to prove. As you mentioned, Daniel Ngata, he has a lot to improve. We still need a lot more from these wide receivers. And, we've talked about it week in and week out, like LV Bunkley Shelton had 3 catches for 40 yards, Curtis Hodges had 4 catches for 50 yards or 60 yards. It's like, we need somebody that, is going to be a 100-yard threat every night. And we need someone, the way I look at this game is I look at it as a preseason game for the next year, because, I assume that a lot more of the, as I mentioned, the Lucas, Donovan West, Jack Jones, Trey Anum, Rashad White, there's going to be more people that follow. The game's still, another 16 days away. So I think there's going to be a lot of younger guys playing, and I think I want to see a lot of Jaden Daniels, Daniel Ngata, and it's going to be a really good run team, which ASU always struggles with, a good running team and a team with a great defense. I think it's going to be great for the kind of a picture of what next year could be, and whether it's pretty or not, I don't think it will be. I don't know. I just think there's a lot of preseason aspects to this game for the next year, and this coaching staff to kind of restart.
Yeah, I think you're right on some of those points. I think Zach Hill coming in, doing the job that he did, it was respectable. I really like how he implemented Curtis Hodges this year. We had one of the most lethal offenses in the Pac-12, just going off of yardage per game. But, obviously there were some letdown games, and, that's not what people like to see. But I really think, I think we'll see a close fight in this Wisconsin game. I mean, I'm not too privy on what players are, on this Wisconsin team, but they are a very physical team up front, in your face, on defense as well. But it's tough to say, this.
What would the spread have to be for you to take the Sun Devils?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not a betting man. I don't know how really all that spreads and all that crap works. It's kind of confusing to me.
Give me a break. Oh, brother.
What? Hey, our ASU team
just because you don't gamble. We've talked about it on this show. You know how to. Just because you don't doesn't mean you don't know how it works.
I mean, I think 7 is a fair number. I don't think Vegas is compensating for, just how riled up these guys are going to be. I think the over under is a little low. I think Wisconsin could easily hang like 30 on us. Seriously.
I agree,
but I'm really not too sure about their whole staff and their whole roster and who's in the portal, how that's going. I know that ASU is taking a lot of hits offensively, and Jaden Daniels is going to have to step up to the plate. Zach Hill is going to need to pull a rabbit out of his hat to really compete, maybe even put up 30 points. If we put up 30 points in this game, I'll consider it a win. On national TV, that's a fight. You know what I mean? That is.
Yeah, that's fair. And a fight, something this ASU basketball team's doing a little bit. I have it on the screen as glimmer of hope for ASU hoops. So obviously they started off, what was it, 2-6, terrible start to the year. But they lost to some good teams. We talked about it last week. They lost to Syracuse, they lost to Chicago, they lost to Baylor, they lost. Pretty tough start for a team that was trying to build some chemistry to start the year, but they went on the road and they hit a really clutch three against Oregon, 2 clutch threes against Oregon. And then just after our show last week, they beat GCU, and now they're playing on the road at Creighton right now. They're currently 4-6. They're down 6 at half to Creighton. 26-32 is the score. We're going to talk about that game more specifically in the next segment. But, from the GCU game, is this team building a little confidence? Are you starting to are you starting to think that this team actually is better than the beginning of the year thought? I don't know. I'm not asking you because we're going to talk about whether you're fully bought in next segment. But what do you think of this team? Are you think they better than you originally kind of thought after that 2-6 start?
I think they are. I think they have put some people on notice. After that Oregon win. Especially, just hitting that clutch shot to take it to overtime and then grinding it out against Dana Altman. I got his name right this time. I called him Pat last time.
Yeah.
No, that's a great coach, a great team over there. And then, I know it's Grand Canyon University. There's like 20,000 on-campus students, but let's not downplay that game at all. That's gonna be an in-state rivalry. That's gonna be must-watch TV. For maybe the Arizona fan, maybe not for the world, but that was a good game. You can look at the box score, and honestly, they kind of led in a lot of the defensive metrics for the game, and they kind of should have won the game if you're just looking at it from a pure statistical aspect. But it was really close at the end of the game. The last 45 seconds kind of just came down to they had to foul us to kind of stay in the game, and we hit our free throws, man. We set I want to say we hit a team record or a program record for a single free throws percentage in a single game. It was around 92%. We hit like 25 free throws.
Wow.
And we had a season high in blocks too. We had 13 block shots. I think that might be somewhere close to a program record, honestly. And that's what it took to beat GCU. Holland Woods dropped 20 on us. It was almost a road game. I think it was Marion Jackson said that the whole team treated it as a road game because GCU is chirping on Twitter, talking how they're gonna sell out our home arena, and I was just reading some articles, and they really took over it was the north or south side of the student section, and there was a lot of purple in there, and when the player comes out and says, "Hey, we treated this like a road game," that's when they're taking it serious, and that was a hard fought game, and a great win. But right now we're losing to Creighton, like you said. We'll see how this game ends. There's a bunch of time left. But this kind of, this is the steps that you see a team under Bobby Hurley take that starts one of those runs, one of those runs that we've seen. And I know it takes more than 2-3 wins. I know it takes really 5 or 6 to start getting on a nice run. But I think this team is a lot better than we expected, a lot better than we thought how they started playing. Obviously, real life minutes, on the court are gonna be different than in practice. It's gonna take some time, for your offense to mesh, defensively, the same. But Bobby's getting along with them too. He's learning how to work with them better, and he's learning how they deal with adversity on the court. But I do think, like you said, I think this team is a lot better than we've seen. I mean, I think Marion Jackson, man, that dude can shoot the ball. He can shoot the three.
Same with DJ Horn too.
Those guys are really accumulating for a lot of our offense, and They're going to be an exciting team. You can't we will harp on Bobby Hurley, but you can't really put his teams out of the mix. I mean, the dude is a great basketball mind, and look at 2-6 is already 4-6, and with a win tonight, you're one game closer to 500. And the Pac-12 will eat itself alive every year. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this team? How do you think they've been playing the past couple of games?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think that there's a lot of unknown expectations for this team. I mean, I think there's expectations of Bobby Hurley, and they want him to produce tournament teams. And they were wondering if sometimes when this basketball team has done its best is when there is no expectations, and there's really no expectations this year at all. But I mean, they're 1-0 in power, 1-1 because they got absolutely embarrassed against Washington State.
Let's not talk about that one.
But I mean, I think a win tonight here goes a long way. I mean, we're going to get more into it, but later in the schedule, I think our first 3 Pac-12 games back after the end of non-conference are at number 10 USC, at number 4 UCLA, and then home against number 8 U of A. So they need to string together some wins, because if they lose tonight, that's 4-7, and then those 3 games, you could be looking at 6-10 and going into the big chunkier Pac-12 season. So they need to string together some wins and start doing it quickly. Maybe they have a chance to pull off an upset. And because the expectations were unknown, because we had so many transfers, the DJ Horns, the Marion Jacksons, the Luther Muhammads, the Jay Heath, Alonzo Gaffney, Enoch Boake. I'm sorry, I just butchered his name. But there's a lot of guys that are brand new. The only 2 really returners are Kamani Lawrence and Jalen Graham. Those are really only the 2 same names from last year. So this team is completely irrecognizable from last year.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, it's that's what I'm saying. So sorry, I mean, just kind of cut off there. But it's 2-6. It's not, obviously we expected better, but there's low expectations in general. So they need some time to gel and you learn each other's styles and get some chemistry and learn Bobby's styles as well.
Yeah, I think that was really the biggest thing when you think about it is a really big change. It's kind of Bobby, at the end of last season, he just came out and was like, man, I never want to deal with a season like that ever again. And I guarantee you, a lot of that was having to do with COVID and all those, measures that they had to take. But, I think some of that was the team. I think some of that was with how the team was performing. And this year was really just a blank slate. You got to pick a fresh a bunch of guys to come in and, play with 2 returners. And that success from that kind of team takes time. They're going to come out and they might get off to a shaky start. But that's when you, like I was saying earlier, that's when you hit adversity. And, that is one thing that Bobby Hurley, in his teaching does not shy from. That man will teach you how to bounce back. He will teach you how to fight. And, look at this team right now, 2 points away from Creighton. I'm not even a huge basketball guy, but Creighton is a fantastic historical, I feel like, a college basketball program as well. And they're getting better recruits than us.
So I don't want Josh to spread fake news. It does look like we're down 8 points right now, but unless Josh is a little behind.
I don't think so. Oh,
what's the score for your screen?
It's 38-42.
Oh wow, then I am very behind. I was down 40-32, so I'm very behind. But I'm spreading the fake news over here.
Technology.
But we talked about this before the show. What I had mentioned is there's these 3 games that they're playing now with Oregon, GCU, and Creighton. Those are I think Creighton was in the tournament last year. I don't quote me on that, but I believe they made it. That was 3
first 4 out team.
They might have been, but that's 3 tournament quality teams. I'll say tournament quality teams. But 4-6 going in, they win with a win. They're 5-6. 2 more non-conference. They could be 7-6 heading back into Pac-12 play with a lot of momentum. Is tonight's game a make or break for you in terms of, are you buying stock into ASU again if they win tonight? If they don't, are you still on the train or have you given up?
Oh, tonight is not a make or break. I mean, look, I still, believe it or not, we're 10 games in the season. I still think it's somewhat fairly early because this is the one reason. The Pac-12 is actually kind of competitive this year. If UCLA stays on their path and they go just on a tear, losing 3 games out of the rest of their schedule, and we play them twice. ASU is 2 of those. That's just gonna look great as on our team, and we could really drop this one to Creighton, and we could still capture a bunch of steam. Like we said, this Bobby Hurley coach, any Bobby Hurley coach team can catch fire and they can go on a run.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have 2 guys this year that can really shoot, and I think it somewhat reminds me of my freshman year team. Shannon Evans, Trey Holder, and
That team was the last team to lose in the country, though. That was not a 2-6 team.
No, you're right. You're right. But that team was small, and they just move the ball around and shoot a lot. And we're a lot we have so much more length this year. So if we really could get clicking, and these 2 guys can not only shoot the ball well, but get that defensive coverage and then make a great pass to an open player. I really think this Bobby Hurley team, I mean, we're playing good ball, honestly. Right now we are, and we do have a tough schedule. If we can put together some quality wins against USC, UCLA, and Arizona, I mean, there's no stopping there's no stopping our chances of getting a tournament. I know the committee, look, they love to disrespect us on all fronts, but they do know that there's respect within Bobby Hurley, and anything close that he has to a tournament ready team, they're gonna know that. And hey, we could get a first four game like we did. Didn't we get that 2 years in our time?
Yeah, 2 years in a row. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, we'll take it, man. I don't care if we got to play one to get in. We'll take our odds.
So here's how this team is different than the team from our freshman year. It's that team freshman year had Trey Holder, Shannon Evans. Shannon Evans was a little bit new. I think it was his only second year at the team. But Cody Justice, a lot of those guys were, played together for 4 years, 3 years at ASU. So they had been together and you added small pieces. You added, Romello White. You added who else? Kamani Lawrence was on that team. That was when Kamani Lawrence had one of his best years was that freshman year. But you had that was Lugwens Dort was on that team. So you had what was that freshman year or our sophomore year? I forgot.
I think Lugwens came in our sophomore year.
Okay, yeah. So but that team had played together for a while and they added small pieces. And then, this team really had never played together before and is completely brand new, basically made from the scrap heap. So that's why for me, I think tonight is make or break for me, because if we lose tonight, like I said, I think those 3 games coming up can very well, maybe 1 and 2, but 0-3 projection probably for me with those 3 top 10 teams, especially with 2 of them coming on the road. I don't know. I just don't think this team has it this year. I think Bobby's under a lot of pressure, and I think I think the next year is going to be Bobby Hurley's butt is going to feel the hot seat under him. That's what I think.
Man, it's really I mean, look, it could really go both ways. I mean, we're only down 1 point right now, but
wow.
Look, any Bobby, like we've said, any Bobby Hurley coach team that is somewhat tournament ready is going to get respect. And, just based off his past 3-4 seasons, that each year his schedule is going to get harder. And luckily for us, the Pac-12 is more competitive this year, like I've been saying. I think if we can put together the wins, obviously we have to get the wins. But, if I'm just looking at our schedule, after this Creighton game, we play USC, they're ranked 10. UCLA, if we sweep them, then we have a huge game against University of Arizona. So even if we win, yeah, I know. Look, we got to talk about it, though. I know that's so, way out in the void, but obviously their players hold power over us just in, I say, talent. But from a coaching aspect, do you think Tommy Lloyd has the edge, or do you think Bobby Hurley has the edge?
Tommy Lloyd.
Just because he's worked under Mark Few for all those years?
He's doing what ASU wishes they did this year. He took a team that really was there was a lot of new pieces and then put it together, and now they're a top 10 team and still undefeated. He hasn't lost a game yet as a head coach. Sorry?
It's University of Arizona.
Just because I dislike him doesn't mean I can't be, tell the God honest truth out here.
I know, but they're getting. Would you agree that they're getting just?
Would you agree that we both don't? Would you agree that we both don't think Bobby Hurley is that great of a head coach?
I think Bobby Hurley, he had
some good moments.
Year overall. Last year was not a great year. Last year was a team that it's the same thing. It's just a circle we talk about. It's the same thing with Herm's football team. It was a veteran team. They had, like we said, they had years that they played together. They had Remy Martin, a very, very sought-after piece in all of college basketball, as we see him go to Kansas immediately after he, tests the draft waters and comes back to college. Man, I think that he just struck out. I don't know what happened. I think COVID really screwed everything, to be fair, but that's a reality. And now he's in a brand new boat. He's got a brand new bunch of players, and I think his butt is on the hot seat. But I think he's going to prove himself. I think he's going to prove himself that he still is that coach. And if he does put together a run with this team, and shocks the committee, makes a tournament, something along the lines like that, wins the Pac-12. Then that will solidify his spot in this team for the next couple of years, recruiting as well. That would be just a huge bounce back. Oh, we're up 3, by the way.
Wow. I don't disagree with you, but look at Oregon State. Oregon State won the Pac-12 tournament last year, and they are currently 1-8 to start the year. Yeah. And they made a
Colorado taking their place. They're doing good this year.
So I am going to wrap it up. We will, keep you updated as long as we can on that ASU game. But the reason I'm going to wrap it up, and we wanted to wish everyone a happy holidays. We will not be having a show next week for the holidays. I will be traveling. Josh will be with his family. So we want to wish everyone happy holidays. We may have one before the week of New Year's after Christmas. But if you check out our Twitters on the screen or Dash Sports TV in the top left, we will keep you updated with all the show schedules and clips from the show as well. So we want to thank you for watching, Josh. Before we take a little holiday hiatus, is there anything you want to say to the Devil Dash supporters?
To my Devil Dash faithful, we thank you for tuning in today, tonight, and every night. Have a great holiday. Enjoy your time with your family, and go Devils, man!
Go Devils! Go beat Creighton and win.
Slam plus 11. Slam plus 11.
Plus 11. Thank you so much, and we will see you probably before the new year, after Christmas. So thank you.